Yarn bin number 5 from my mom's. Hopefully I'm in frame, right? Yarn bin number 5. Still from my mom's, okay? So I'm filming on a random Tuesday in October. I don't know when you'll see this video. This is all Herrschner's 2-ply Afghan yarn. Here's their little label. Okay? When you buy these, a lot of times they're $1.99. And when I bought them, I usually got them on sale for 10% off, sometimes 50% off. These are what I use to make my rainbow blanket, which there should have already been a video for this one months ago. Oh wait, that's upside down. It doesn't matter. This is the blanket that sits on the back of my reading chair, and I'll drape it over my shoulders if I feel a draft, because my house can be drafty in the winter. This was the blanket that kicked it off in 2015 when I made it. I had somebody say to me that because I had loved it so much that I wanted to keep it. I love my dark purple border on there, and the color placement, it has like 12 different colors, and my husband had decided the color placement on one set, and then my oldest child, then my youngest child, my middle child, and we all took turns on how the yarn, so it's completely random. So it was a family blanket, and I wanted to keep it, and I had somebody say to me so very carelessly, Jenny, you can't keep everything. And I had never in my life kept anything that I had crocheted since the time I was 9 years old up until I was 45. I didn't keep anything, you know? So it had put me in a depressive spiral, which is why I think my shopping got out of control. So, my name is Jenny. Welcome to Granny Square Peg. I've got issues. So, Herrschner's 2-ply Afghan yarn. It is, I like it. Some people complain about it, that it splits and it's hard to work with because it's so thin, that it's a bit scratchy, but it's actually, it's not. It is, while it's not squishy soft, it is still soft. And they have so many colors. They're not creative with their color names. Like this one is called Deep Purple. This one's called Midnight. Yeah, they're not creative with their colors, but with the color names. But they have so many to choose from. And the thing is, I I could buy them all, and a couple months later go back and they'll have new ones or discontinued ones, and like they discontinued some of my favorite colors. But I found it to be a joy to work with, and it is holding up over time. My blanket is now just starting to get a little fuzzy, but all with that pilling, but it just needs a sweater shaver, you know, that goes across it and gets rid of all that pilling. Excuse me, it's allergy season for me. So, I had bought all these colors to make this blanket, and that's what some of this on the table is. It's some of my leftovers from this one. And then I had made a second blanket where I had done 2 rows of white in between each row of color, and I needed more to finish that. I actually needed more white. I bought 1 ball of white, but so many balls of the other colors. I really do enjoy working with Herrschner's 2-ply Afghan yarn. It is, I'll give you details on the yarn. It's 100% acrylic, and it's a number 2 fine, and it's a fine weight yarn. It's a number 2. And this is 2 ounces or 56 grams. So it's a tiny ball of yarn, but for $1.50 or $2 if it's on, you know, if it's not on sale. I like it. You can use it for baby stuff. You can use it for adult stuff, as you see by my reading blanket. So I'm just going to show you the colors real quick and drop them back into the bin, because these were the new colors I bought because I wanted to make another blanket like this, and I wanted to change up the colors a little bit. Like I didn't want to use yellow anymore, and I wanted to use different shades of red. So, alright, so I have 1 ball of white, okay? 1 ball of this creamy white, right? Let's go with the blues. Alright, so besides Midnight, I've also got Light Steel and Cobalt. That's it for the blues sitting in front of me. Again, I'm picking off cat fur as I go along. Let's see. I've got one ball of medium gray. Two of purple. Are they the same shade of purple? Maybe. Yep. Two balls of light lavender. Let's see. And plain old lavender, which I have a new one that has been used, one that's been partially used. Got some tails sticking out of it. We've got some dark lavender, which I think I have more dark lavender. Or it's a different shade of purple altogether. It doesn't have a label to it. The label must have ripped and come off. But it's close to the dark lavender. Maybe. And then I've got the deep purple. Alright, let's do greens. I've got forest green. And I think that's what this is. I think this is forest green. Okay. Because I also have a whole bunch of leftovers that are just all wound up, and I don't know why that is. It has been so long. And this one should be a seafoam green. If I can find its color somewhere. Oh yeah, I was right. Seafoam. I like that green. This is one of my favorite shades of green. I like that. But I must have used some of it and then ripped it out because then I wrapped it around the label. Alright, how about some reds? We've got mulberry, pomegranate, and then a whole bunch of shades of brown. I must have been like in a fall mood. I got a whole bunch of neutral browns, and yeah, like this is beige. This is gold. This one is light beige. Okay. And then there is ginger, which is a brown. Root beer. I love this shade of root beer, right? I love this shade of brown. Earth. And then medium rust. Yeah, I must have been on probably doing a fall themed blanket or autumn. Okay. So besides this forest green, I have a whole bunch of the Herrschner's 2-ply Afghan yarn that is just hand wound. It must have been leftovers. Okay. So I actually have to clean these all up because they've got tails all over the place. That one. You know what? Maybe some of these are from my mom, because my mom bought a bunch of Herrschner's 2-ply and she didn't really like it. So maybe that's what this is. Maybe these are her leftovers. Which I like the leftovers because I make awesome things with leftover yarn. It's always been my strong suit. Some more green. It's really tangled up in there. That says olive on the label. Something that says Victorian red. I've got a lot of little reds here. Darker shade of red is really bright shade of red. That one. More red. More red. And more red. Wow. Yeah, I think these all came from my mom. Because when I'm done with my yarn, I actually leave the label on like this. and flatten it out. So this one's mine. I think all the hand wound ones are from mom. Okay, yeah, shoreline. I love these colors from Herrschner's. They have a lot of colors, and the yarn is good. I like it when you wash it up. It is soft. I use my blanket all the time. Now that it's October and it's getting colder, and when I sit in my chair to read, I get chilly. Throw it over my shoulders, keeps me nice and warm. See this purple is all tangled up with the tan. There we go. So when I'm done this video, I'm going to straighten all this out. Well, there's some yellow, right? And some more beiges. Some of the teal. And I think some white. There we go. I've got some pink. They call it guava. And it's a consistent color because I bought it numerous times over the years. Consistent color. This is called jade. Ooh, check out that orange. Tangerine. Some more white, plain old white. Some shade of jade or teal or green. Some really dark green, like a forest green. And some more pink. All those leftovers. Some of them came from this blanket, and some of them came from the blanket that I made that has white in it. So I would like to get them all together because I have a feeling I've got more leftovers of the Herrschner's 2-ply Afghan yarn. I have a feeling I've got more leftovers. Alright, so what else is in this bin? I have Caron Simply Soft Light. Okay, so you know Caron Simply Soft is a number 4 medium worsted Aran weight yarn. Okay, they also made this light number 3. Okay, they discontinued it years ago, but I was lucky enough to buy a whole bunch. But my mom borrowed it when she took it. She's keeping it because she needed it for a project. So this is all I have left. This is a full skein of what they call heavy cream. And it's got that shiny, satiny sheen to it. But it's also got this twisted fiber that's got a little bit of texture to it. Love it. And I discovered it right about a year before they decided to discontinue it altogether. So I actually have a blanket made out of this. It's a feather and fan pattern. And then with my leftovers, I was making granny squares. But they are in another bin, box, or bag somewhere. And I'm not sure where they are. But this is a wonderful yarn. This is something that I would look on the internet and see if I can find some more. Because it was wonderful, and it's a shame they discontinued it. So that's what these are. These are leftovers. This is some leftover cream. This blue colored called Capri. That's in my blanket that I made. A color called Hawaiian Sky, which is a teal color. I have a label here for gray, but there's actually no gray sitting here. I have a label for pansy. Oh, that's got to be the pink color. I bet you pansy is the pink color. So there we go. There's the pink. And that is enough for me to work my granny squares. I'm looking forward to when I can find that one because that one's coming out really pretty. There's the red. I think this is Caron Simply Soft Light. I don't think this is Herrschner's red. I think this is Simply Soft. And then there is Riviera, which is a shade of blue. And then I've got 2 random balls of white yarn with a heavy silver metallic thread through it. Again, this probably came from my mom because I'm not a big fan of working with yarn that has the metallic thread. Should probably put it in my bin. I don't know. Okay. I have some more yarn in this bin that is really weird. Okay. It's from Lion Brand. And it's called Fun. And it feels like a number 4 medium weight, but it also feels like it's actually a little thicker, almost like a 5. It's got a bulkiness to it. Again, I think it came from my mom. I think it was one of those things where she sent some yarn over for my kids so they can play with it. But none of my kids have picked up my crochet habit. None of them are crocheters. So, hold on a second. Let me get it all together. And we'll take a look at it. Yeah, alright. So, it says Lion Brand Yarns. And it says Fun. Right? It says it's a number 4, medium weight, but I'm telling you, it's a really thick 4. 100% acrylic. This is 50 grams or 1.75 ounces. So there's 2 balls of white. There's a ball of some shade of blue. Some pale blue. Okay. And then there is another ball of white, but now the label's a little different. Like this label, you see that? And now this label is green. It still says Fun on there, but like 2 different labels. So is it the same yarn? I don't know, because this stuff feels a little thinner. And so there's white. They're calling this one Eggshell. And this one is light pink, and it's got an Ollie's sticker on there. It's got to be my mom, because I don't shop at Ollie's. She must have bought this for my kids, and it just wound up in my yarn stash. There's orange. Oops, I just dropped the pink on the floor. Orange. And then there's 3 of this red color. Red, and red. No offense to Mom if you're watching this video, but I have no interest in this yarn. It feels scratchy. I don't like the texture of it at all. And while I'm always a big fan of white and cream, I have no interest in them. So they are going to go. I'll check on eBay and see if they're worth selling on eBay. See if other people are selling them, if they're being sold. If not, then I'll donate them to my local thrift store, because I have no interest in them. But I do love my Herrschner's 2-ply Afghan yarn and the Karen Simply Soft Light. I love this stuff, and I can't wait to dig out the blankets that I made with it. Okay? So that is it for yarn bin number 5. Ready? The Lion Brand stuff, I don't want that. The leftovers from the Karen Simply Soft Light, yes, because I actually have more of these leftovers that are sitting with the blanket that I made. This stuff, the white with the metallic thread, no, I don't want that either. But all the Herrschner's 2-ply Afghan yarn, yep, I'm keeping all that, because I'll make another blanket out of the leftovers. And everything that's in the bin. So my job, oops, there we go. So my job right now is just to straighten up this mess and make sure that it's not all tangled when I stick it back in the bin. And that is it for today's video. Thank you guys for being here. It really helps a lot. So Wednesdays are going to be my yarn bin videos, my bins, my boxes, my bags of my yarn stash. And then Sundays will be videos where I do either blankets that are in my blanket pile or whatever kind of crochet along I feel like doing. Okay, so I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. Alright, hey crafters, I have more to add to yarn bin number 5. I was moving the bins around to put them away from one side of the house to the other, and I found a bag. And it's more Herrschner's 2-ply Afghan yarn. Now, this is stuff that my mom gave me because she bought it, she used it, she didn't really like it, so she's like, I know you like it, so here, take this home. So, we have, this color is called Romance. Oh, I like that, right? And of course, more blues. Navy, Silver Creek. Yeah, my kids are making noise in the background. Don't pay any attention to them. Marble Gray. I like that. Heirloom, which you know I love my creamy whites. And let's see. A whole bunch of little leftovers that she's got here. Alright, so what Herrschner's did, you see the label, it still says Herrschner's 2-ply Afghan yarn, right? And I know that there's glare from the windows. What Herrschner's did is they slapped a vintage label on there, and it says Herrschner's Vintage Collection 2-ply Afghan yarn. So that's what that was. So they raised the price a little bit. They give it a fancy label. They give us some muted colors, and they call it their vintage collection. So that's what these 4 are. It's part of their vintage collection. I like them. I haven't bought any myself just yet because I put myself on a yarn buying ban. Not buying any more yarn. So this was given to me by my mom. So there's some blue, their standard Afghan yarn, that's cobalt. Another little blue right there. Some blue right there. Mom put a rubber band on it to keep it all together. Some more blue. Wonder what kind of project she was working on that she used so much blue. Well, okay, so this is part of their vintage collection. You know, it looks like I'm losing the sunlight, huh? It's that time of day. What color did they call this? Ah. Label says blue crystal. I like that. That's pretty. And then this Victorian lilac. So it's a Victorian shade of purple. I like that too. Turns out my taste in color has changed over the years. That I prefer more muted shades now. There's another regular blue. Another one of their vintage colors called... Oh my god, seriously, it's green. And it's called Vintage. I wasn't too far off with that one. And this one is called Pennies. Because it's a copper color. I like that too. And there is a label. It says, made especially for you by, and then I can use a marker, write my name on there. Herrschner's with a needle. And some leftover Yarn Bee Rainbow Rhapsody. Wait, is this like that really thin cotton that they make? Cotton, acrylic. Yeah, it's a cotton acrylic blend. Use a 3.25 millimeter crochet hook or a size D. Yeah, that's some small stuff. So what is it, like a number 2 or a number 1? Like a lace weight maybe? Guess Mom didn't need them anymore. Wow, I really lost the sun. So I'm adding this onto the end of yarn bin number 5 because I'm going to take all this Afghan 2-ply Afghan yarn from Herrschner's and stick it in the bin and get rid of the bag. See ya!